Hello guys, I'm back. I know it's been a good few decades, but yeah, I've returned and I'm going to be starting off this year with a video on 3 approaches to soloing. So say you've just learned the minor pentatonic scale and then you've managed to convince yourself for a whole 5 minutes that you can play anything known to man. And then you listen to a guitarist that you actually like and you cry to the winds. Why can I not be this good? Well, fear not, future bass player. Now these 3 techniques are things which I wish I was told earlier on because it would have made things a lot easier for me. But I had to figure them out along the way and that took a lot more time. But I'm going to tell them to you right now. If you do only know the minor pentatonic scale, that's fine. It's quite a good scale. It's pretty common. But when you get into playing some music which is a little bit more harmonically complicated, it can start sounding a bit not that great. For example, so the first approach I would say is just learn more scales. The more scales you learn, the easier it is to kind of just follow where the chords go. I'll definitely say start by learning all the modes in the major scale because that's kind of your entry point into this crazy, insane world of soloing. And then for kind of metal and playing music like that, you'll notice that there's some scales which stand out quite a lot, like the natural minor and Phrygian. And then you'll notice that a lot of metal songs actually start to use you know, slightly more evil sounding scales, usually harmonic minor or Phrygian dominant. When you start implementing some of these scales, you tend to get something a bit more interesting. Okay, so the second approach is a bit more of a fun one. I personally find it's a lot more useful than the first, because when you learn all the scales that you can, it's, you know, you start to just get stuck in ruts again. So this technique can kind of help break you out of those ruts, and that's soloing with chords. And what I mean by this is if you take the chords of the actual song and you arpeggiate them, and then you can introduce notes from other scales that fit into it, but you have a lot more freedom because you follow the actual chords of the song rather than just a scale which may or may not fit melodically with the harmony. Because the moment it goes out of key with the scale that you're playing, then you can get into some problems trying to figure out what key to change to and, you know, what scale to use with that key. That's going to be great to just like break you out of ruts and actually help you write something which is more appropriate to the actual song. One of the ways to actually approach this best is learning the caged chord system. And if you don't know what the caged chord system is, I highly recommend you check out Dave Lovejoy's video on this because he goes really in depth with it. But essentially, to kind of sum it up quickly, it is basically the chord shapes for C, A, G, E, and D, and it's kind of becoming aware that you can play those all over the guitar neck for any key and for any chord, and they become more positions, so you can use those positions in order to create arpeggios. The most common example of this is the arpeggio that everyone who learns how to sweep pick first play. If you haven't heard that, I don't know where you've been. But yeah, this is the most common form of using the caged chord system in order to play kind of melodic pattern. So I will show you a quick example of creating a solo with a melodic pattern which will actually fit to the song. So the third technique I would highly recommend people try out, particularly if you're just starting out, is using intervals. If you don't know what an interval is, it is literally just the distance between 2 notes. This is a really good way to approach soloing because it kind of breaks you out of that initial box that you have of, you know, got to stay in a scale, and it just forces you to look at the relationship between 2 notes. And if you know your scales and you know the chords that are in the song, you can come up with some pretty cool ideas just by playing 2 notes and letting them ring out and hearing how they work with the harmony. So yeah, these are just 3 techniques to kind of get you going with soloing, particularly if you're really stuck in that kind of scalar first position rut. These can really help to just sort of break you out of that monotony. If you liked this video and you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more like this. I am going to be releasing the Bionic Pig cover soon. I've been working really hard on it, and I said that I wouldn't get obsessive over it, but I did it anyway. I'm going to be uploading regularly again from next week, so stay posted. And also I'm going to be posting up new stuff about my band because we've got an EP coming out March 23rd. It'll be available on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Is iTunes even... I don't think iTunes exists anymore. Forget about iTunes. Once again, thank you for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.